got a lot of requests for a quick pure trade management video, and I wanted to go ahead and do that today, go through the positions that I have and some of the pending orders. So let's go ahead and do that here, talk about what I've got on the books and what I wish I had on the books. Starting off with my pending order on the Aussie Loonie. You know, it feels a little futile here, but this was a trade that I wanted from 250. You know, sometimes we just have to pick our spots. It's not like I don't have exposure to the Loonie. It's not like I don't have exposure already to the Aussie by way of the Aussie US, which was a great position today. You know that we've been shorting this since 1.0300, so this was terrific. But I will say that was a position that I did miss, and we had an aggro setup. I did talk about that in the podcast this morning, where for those of you that wanted in, 250 was a level. It was actionable. I was being fussy. I mentioned that in our notes, and you know, you guys know when I'm being fussy, sometimes that means, well, Rongi, you do that, but I'm going to go ahead and do my thing, and that's fine. In fact, I got a number of emails from many of you that said, Rongi, you shouldn't have been so fussy. And absolutely, you're right. So, you know, I can laugh about it on a day like today. The book is firing on almost all cylinders. So let's talk about where we are and how I'm going to manage some of these. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cover one of the trades that have been a little underwater, and I'm more or less at a break even right now. You know, there's no sense in just going through this as a greatest hits. Let's talk about this from the bottom up. I have had a fade here. I sat through a lot of heat when the RBNZ let the world in on their little covert op from earlier this year when they had been selling Kiwi. I still think this is a fade. I still think that ultimately we could enter the range, but at this point, in terms of taking medicine, and this is probably the one trade that's the furthest off the path here for me, I don't mind. I still think the chop works in my favor, but I have to be very cautious here because that brings me to a pending order that I have, and that's in the cable. And this ties into the pound Kiwi as well. The trade I have working in the cable is under the assumption that we are now in an uptrend. So you can see here I've got the buy limit going here, and I do believe this is a fresh look at an uptrend, and this is kind of reminiscent to that fresh transition to a trending market where I am then looking for follow through. Think about the 1,300 level. That was an initial short sell on the Aussie US, and I think we're kind of looking at a very similar situation on the cable. Let me mention on the cable that in terms of what I'm thinking is that this is not only a trade that seasonally, this is a weak time for the next week or so. It's a seasonally weak time for the British pound. And of course, the US dollar had an unbelievable day today. And in the evening update, I talked in detail about those two currencies. But here, I just want to mention that I do want to get long around 54.20. And gosh, that's my text going off like crazy there. Sorry about that. But I do want to get long at 54.20. And I am looking for an upside target to at 55.50 initially. And then we'll see what's next. I think that summer, and if you talk about the seasonals a little bit more, summer is a good time for the pound. And let's not forget, the pound very steadily, it may not be getting much of the spotlight, but the pound very steadily has been the benefactor of some solid and better than expected data coming out of the UK. So let's not forget that. They didn't cut rates. They probably won't until Carney comes into the BOE in July, if they are going to at all. And where are the legs to stand on in terms of rate cuts? The data is pretty solid in the UK. I mean, the manufacturing production number came in nearly 3 times better than expected. So I don't expect any action until after Carney takes over as governor. But in the meanwhile, I do think there's an uptrend here to take advantage of. So keep that in mind in terms of how you're positioning yourself against the pound sterling, generally speaking. All right, so another trade to take a look at here in terms of where we are on the whole scale of trades that are working. I mean, obviously, I almost feel ridiculous even bringing up this pair, but I am going to bring up the dollar yen because I think far too much is being made today of the yen's part in this move. This is a U.S. dollar move here today. Okay, this breakup through 100 is, the U.S. dollar was up nearly 1% today. I don't know how many people caught that. The yen really didn't benefit from a strong equities market, not in any way. So this is really, in my opinion, yes, everybody and their dog is in the yen short trade. But why this sudden move? Look no further than the U.S. dollar, and you'll get your reasoning. Now, managing from here on out, I will be very impressed that when Europe opens tomorrow, if they actually have an opinion that remains bullish on the dollar and we can take this dollar strength into the weekend. If not, I'm probably going to take some of my profits. I've got 2 remaining lots in the dollar yen. I will probably take some profits if we dip back down below 100. Okay. In fact, I might even take a lot off the table if we dip back down below 150, which is only about 20 pips from now. So that'll leave me 1 lot to continue to squeeze. But remember, I'm into this thing from nearly, at this point, 1,000 pips away, right? So I don't want to give a lot back. And I do think I'm on the right side of this trade. To me, this trade is either short yen or stay out. I don't want to take the other side of this trade. In fact, unless I'm going to be long, the only time that I'm thinking to be long yen is very, very short term. The idea of being long yen just to me is completely hazardous to your health and your account. So Kiwi yen, same story. Both of our trades, agro and conservative, are moving up nicely. I do have a number of pending orders in the Aussie loonie, Aussie Kiwi, the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, the loonie yen, Euro Aussie, pound yen, and the cable. So in the premium video we talked about all those, but I just want to cover some of these trade management and just some of these trades that I'm in. So in the case of this Kiwi yen, I really am thinking this thing looks pretty darn tired between 84.50 and 84.80. So I'll probably reel this trade in at least half of it. I've actually got 6 lots. So I'll probably reel in at least 2 to 3 lots of this, either right around now at 84.50, or I'll put a target up at, say, 84.75, maybe even 84.70. Probably isn't a bad idea to start looking to get out now. Again, I don't credit the yen for a lot of today's move higher. I really don't. I'm not saying it wasn't a part of the whole breakout, but I don't credit it as much as I credit the dollar. So I will go ahead and take, like I said, anywhere from 2 to 3 lots off my 6 lot position here on the Kiwi yen. The loonie yen is something that I do want a piece of, and again, that's a pending order. But all these pending orders will cover, and all the updated orders will cover. It kills me that I forewent and I did not take this 240 because I thought, gosh, it's looking so toppy here. Let's take advantage of a pullback, and off it went. Again, I got a number of emails from y'all that took this loonie yen trade. I love when I get emails from y'all and you took the trades that either I pointed out and you took, or when you saw the trades on your own and said, Rog, why aren't you taking it? I love when I get those emails from you when you're following these rules, especially these trend following rules, and you're hopping in and you're making some GG. I can't even tell you how happy that makes me. It makes my day. All right, so that's a quick summary of some of the open positions I've got and some of the pending positions, and we'll wrap it up here, and I'll see you in the premium video.